Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. I've actually missed you guys. It's been quite a while that I haven't been in here, but since it's the season to be merry, I decided to make a video giving you some ideas of the type of Christmas meal that you can make. Now it's a bit weird for me because I'm making it before Christmas, so it means my family is going to eat the Christmas meal before Christmas and on Christmas again, but I'm sure it's not a problem. So I am making a whole lot of things today. I am making some carrot side dish. I'm making a potato bake. I'm also going to be making a couscous and butternut salad, and I'm going to be making gammon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the ingredients that go into each and every one, and then I'm going to show you the end product at the end of the video. Enjoy! First, we are making the carrots. I'm doing them in the slow cooker. It's going to make it easier for me because then I don't have to watch it and I don't have to worry about how far everything is. I'm putting in the butter and I'm putting in the carrots. Now, just remember the quantities are entirely up to you in terms of the number of people that you intend to cater for. Just some salt. So the main ingredient in the carrots is going to be honey, right? But that doesn't mean that we don't put in salt, because if you salt your dish properly, you're going to be able to taste the sweetness properly. So this is some thyme that I'm putting in. It's dried thyme. If you can get the fresh kind, by all means do that. And then I'm going to squeeze in some honey. This is what's going to be the main flavor of the dish, the honey and the butter. And basically I have put my slow cooker on high, as you can see over there. I am going to close it a little bit, and I'm going to give the butter a chance just to melt a little bit. And once that has happened, I will go in with my wooden spoon and just mix it around to make sure that all the carrots get a little bit of love. Okay, so that can sit on the side while I prepare the next dish. So next in line is the couscous and butternut salad. So what I have done is I have preheated my oven at 200 degrees, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be roasting the butternut before it goes into the couscous to become part of the salad. So before I do that, I need a bowl. Let's get a bowl. I've got a bowl. So I've got a bowl, and I've just scratched around for some ground cumin and some crushed garlic. So I'm going to be taking the butternut and putting it inside the bowl. As you can see, I've just cut the butternut into blocks, just a nice size. Make sure that it's uniform and a nice size to be part of a salad. You don't want it to be too small because you don't want it to be crushed in, and you want to be able to see it. I mean, it's got a lovely vibrant color. Next in line is the crushed garlic. It gives the butternut a really nice flavor, so I am really generous with it, as well as the cumin. But that basically is the basis of the flavor that we are going to be getting all through the couscous salad. Just a little bit of salt that I'm putting in over there, and then I'm going to use my wooden spoon and I'm going to mix this around just to make sure that the cumin and the garlic cover all our pieces of butternut just before we put them on the roasting pan. So as you can see, I've got a flat pan that I'm using a cookie sheet. It's easier for me. And then I've got some baking paper on top because I'm lazy. So if you're lazy like me, you can use baking paper. If you don't have that, use foil. That way you don't get all the foodie gunk on your pan, and that way you don't have to clean so much. Okay, I'm just going to put all of this on here. Just make sure that you separate them because we want them to bake nice and tender. you are really not one who enjoys touching your food with your hands, don't worry about it. It's just something that I like to do. So if you would like to use tongs or a spoon or something else, feel free. Okay, so this is the butternut put on a tray. I've made sure just to separate it to make sure that it doesn't clump together when it starts to caramelize. And now we're going to put this in the oven until it gets a bit tender. So it would take normally about 40 minutes at about 200 degrees. But what you don't want is you don't want it to start to burn. So just keep an eye on it and make sure that you don't burn the ends. I want it to still be lovely and bright with not that much browning. So next in line is my gammon. That's what I'm going to be making as the meat for this video. So if you're going to make the same menu, you can maybe make chicken on the side as well, or another meat that you like, as well as the gammon. I'm just going to be making this today for this mock video or mock Christmas meal. And if you're gonna make chicken, do yourself a favor and have a look at my slow cooker chicken recipe. I'll just make sure to link it onto here. That's gonna make your life so much easier, because that way you can make it, put the chicken in the slow cooker and then be busy with everything else. You don't have to worry. So with the gammon, what I'm doing is I've got some cold water in there, and I'm going to be putting the gammon inside the water. Just wipe my hand. Okay, and then I've got a mix in here. I've got some bay leaf, I've got some star anise, and I have some whole peppercorns, and that's what I'm going to be putting in the water. That's what I am going to be boiling my gammon in. So in terms of the size, as you can see, this is a very small joint. It's 1.1 kilograms. So in terms of the amount of time that you would need to cook gammon for, as a rule of thumb, we are looking at about 450 grams for 20 minutes. So because we've got almost 1.2 kilograms here, we can safely say we are looking at about an hour and a bit. So let's go for 40 minutes in the water and then 40 minutes in the oven. So that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I've just put in some cold water. I've put the mix, the bay leaf, the peppercorns, the star anise, and the little bit of thyme that was left over from when we started with the carrots. And now I'm going to close the pot, and then I'm going to let it go, we said, for about 40 minutes. So during the time while it's boiling, what's going to happen is you're going to see that there's going to be a little bit of white foam that forms on the top of the water. Just skim it out and just make sure that you take it out. It's whatever the impurities are that were in your meat. Just skim it out, make sure that you take it out, and then you'll see it actually becomes a beautiful stock after that, if you're going to use it. If not, just make sure you skim it. It'll be easier for you to process after that. So that's the gammon on the stove top to boil for about 40 minutes. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So now I'm back on this side of the kitchen. I have finished making the sauce that's going to go into the potato bake. The butternut is in the oven. I'm about to take it out. I'll just go have a look just now. I just wanted to come and have a look at the carrots. Remember, I wanted to make sure that the butter had melted so I can mix it around so all the carrots can get a little bit of butter, a little bit of honey, and a little bit of some salt and thyme. And it looks like we are almost there. The butter has melted and we actually started to smell the thyme, so that's going well. Just going to find a spot for this. Okay, and then we are going next with the potato bake. I did tell you that this is the one I normally make for Christmas, that I have been specifically asked to make by my daughter. So here goes. I've got some potatoes over here that I have peeled and sliced thinly, and now I'm going to layer them at the bottom of this dish. I wanted to use a prettier dish, like a very pretty dish, but it's actually quite big and I don't have that many potatoes, so yeah. This one's not rubbish either. I know so. Okay, so we are going layer by layer. So we've got a little bit of potato over there, a little bit of green onion, I've got some ham lying around in the fridge. I normally use bacon for this recipe, but the ham works as well, because basically all we're looking for is that meaty, salty taste. And then you're going to realize why I used this kind of saucepan. It's because I am then able to pour. Just don't get it all over yourself, especially on Christmas morning. Let's get a cloth. Next layer, back with the potatoes. And what you're going to realize is it's actually going to become a very hearty bake. I know the meal might look like it is a bit slim or a bit trim, but basically all you're trying to get is to make sure that you're making the best dishes that you can, that taste great, that you don't make all the time, and then you can leave space for everything else, all the snacking, all the desserts, and all the other stuff that people tend to bring over for Christmas meals or dinners. In my case, lunch. A little bit of green onion. Again with the ham. Don't be shy. Remember, your sauce has cheese in it, so anything with ham and cheese, for me, is magic. Okay, sauce. So you can make as many layers as you want, but as you can see, it seems that my mixture is just going to be with 2 layers, and this is literally more than enough. Just going to try and get whatever little sauce is left in there. Doesn't it make it for the bake? Okay, right. That's that. And now, so we're going to take this to the oven. How long does it take? I think probably about an hour. We're going to take this to the oven. Normally I cover it on the top. I'm not going to cover it today because my potatoes are really thinly sliced, so they're not going to take that long to cook. I'm going to take this to the oven. I'm going to take the butternut out, and then I am going to move on to making the couscous and butternut salad. Let's do that. Okay, so by now you would have realized that the theme is to literally not make a lot of dishes, since I'm the one that's going to be cleaning them up. I just cleaned up my sauce bowl, and that's where I made my couscous. Now, the couscous I'm using is a corn couscous, because half of my family is gluten intolerant, so corn couscous is gluten free. But in terms of how you make it, just use the directions on the box. I actually took the liberty to use the direction at the bottom, the one about how you toast it first. And that smells divine. It smells corny, but very good. So this is literally our starch, right? But I'm not going to plonk it on in there, because I just need to make sure that everything is balanced before I do that. And then I've got the butternut that I made earlier. I'm going to plonk that all in there. You see what has happened as well is the flavoring, the garlic and the cumin. You've got the lovely browning there. And that's why I said I don't want the browning on the butternut. Might not have succeeded very much, but the seasoning is fantastic. Okay, now I've got some green onion that I'm putting in. It's really quite colorful and going everywhere. And then I've got a red pepper. So what I did with the red pepper is I actually char grilled it on top of my gas stove. I just took the whole pepper as it is and just charred on the outside. And then I took the peels off, or just took the skin off, and then I cut it into a small dice. Okay, so that's all in there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a dressing. So first in the dressing I'm going to be putting in, why am I doing that? Anyway, it's done. I'm going to be putting the mint. I could have just used the mint one. And then I'm going to put some lemon juice. If you have fresh lemon juice, first price. If not, not a train smash. I'm going to put some olive oil. I'm using olive oil because remember we're making a dressing, right? So it's going to be eaten raw. And that's why I'm putting olive oil. Let's put this back there. And I'm going to put 2 pinches of salt and a grinding of fresh pepper. And then I'm just going to mix that all in. And that is my dressing for my couscous and herb butternut salad. Just going to pour it in. Make sure that you get all the salt and the pepper that's at the bottom. And then we're going to give it a good mix. That smells good. It actually looks like I could put in more of that couscous. Let's do that. Just a tad bit more, or whatever's left. It's got a very interesting smell, but a very festive smell. And that is exactly what we are looking for. And it's a light salad. It's not going to be heavy. So serving it with some meat is really not going to be heavy on anyone's tummy. Let's just clean that up. And then I'm going to scrunch around for a bowl to put this in. Found something. Put it all in. It smells very good. Not sure why all the butternut is on one side, but let's fix that. And there we go. That's salad. I'm just going to put it in the fridge while we wait for everything else to be done. We are almost at the last leg of this cook. The gammon has been boiled. Taking it out. Okay, so you've got stock that's left over in the pot. If you've been cleaning, taking out this skim or skimming out the foam that's been forming on top, then it's going to be very easy for you to use that as part of your gravy. Okay, so I've taken this one out and I'm going to be removing the elastic ribbing. Make sure to do that, please. Otherwise, the guests are going to be eating rubber. Come now. If you want, this could actually be the end of the cooking process for the gammon, but I like to put on a glaze because, wow, it makes it look nice and it does add a different flavor to it. So if you've got a bigger gammon, you're probably going to have a bigger piece of fat on it. Mine just has a small little bit. But what you need to do is you need to remove it. So if you've got the big covering of fat all over your gammon, you're going to remove it. I'm just going to show you with this little bit of mine. Yours will probably be bigger. And then you are going to then score the fat. So meaning you're going to be cutting it to get little diamond shapes. This one is so small. Okay, so I'm going to score my meat as well, just to sort of give you the idea. So if you had fat over here, you would have taken the fat off and then you would be scoring whatever is left over there. I wish I could do this graciously, but it is a messy exercise. So I've got some apricot jam over here, and I'm going to be taking some apricot jam and I'm going to be putting it on top of my gammon as my glaze. So this is my glaze. You can use cranberry. I know a lot of people use cranberry. You can use marmalade as well. I've actually tried quite a few jams and a few preserves. As long as they've got a little sour taste, you're good to go. So I'm going to generously just glaze my hunk of meat. And I'm not sure if I'm putting on cloves this time. Am I putting on cloves?
Yes, please.
On the gammon. Okay, so we're putting on cloves. Let's find them. I tried to drag my feet, but we found the cloves. So I guess that means we're putting them on. They're going to be a bit easier to put on the fat than on the actual meat, so bear with me. And then remember also, when you do eat the gammon, you can take the cloves off. Although cloves do help you when you've got a toothache, I think if you eat them, you can probably develop a new one. So just take them off before you eat. I'm just going to put on top here, just to give you the idea of how to do it. That's what the hunk of meat looks like. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting it in the oven at 200 degrees. I'm going to put it for about 30 minutes because I did cook it for about 40 minutes and I think it was long enough because I can feel that it's actually cooked. So all I want to do now is I want to cook on the glaze onto the piece of meat, and then obviously the little piece of crackling on the side, that's what we're going to give preference to. And then after that I'm going to be finishing off my meal, and when I come back I'm going to show you what it all looks like. And that is the bake when it comes out the oven. You can see it's still bubbling, still hot, looks delicious. Alright, I'm back. So as you can see, this is the wonderful spread that I've put together. In here is the spinach that I did off camera. I will link one of the prior videos that I did make a creamed spinach. I will link that onto this video on here if you want to try that out. And then we've got the potato bake, we've got the meat over here, and we've got the salad, and we've got the carrots. The funny thing is the carrots are the ones that actually took the longest to cook. I don't know, I'm not trying to say anything, but and as you can see, the potato bake is very, very attractive. It also tastes very good. So you've got enough sort of a balance of starch and vegetables as well as the proteins. Remember, I did say normally I will put an additional protein. I will put chicken on the side, and I did say that the whole chicken that I've put the recipe up for, that makes it easier for you because then it doesn't need you to be interacting with the meal. So basically you can have this whole meal ready for your family to enjoy in 3 hours on Christmas. That's magic. Thank you very much for coming into the kitchen, and I hope you're having a wonderful festive season and keeping safe.